Mhm. Welcome everyone to this month's monthly new feature roundup webinar. Really excited to have you guys join us today. Drop in the chat if you guys can hear me. Just a little quick sound check. Okay, sounds good. Looks like we're good to go. Now that everyone can hear me, we've confirmed that. Drop in the chat where you're calling in from. Let's see where everyone's calling in from today. Colorado, I'm gonna be going out there in a few weeks. Texas, Florida, Los Angeles, Nevada, Minnesota, Texas, Florida, well, Ontario, Boston. We're calling from all over. We got a lot of people. I can't read through all these. This is great. Um, really excited today for this webinar. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Looks like we got about 80 people in the room. Just so you know, as I'm going through this webinar, please feel free to drop questions in the chat or really drop them in the Q&A section. It looks like that is working because people are commenting in the Q&A. So if you have questions about the new features, drop it in the Q&A. Excitement, drop it in the chat. Love to hear your feedback as we go through this. So today we're going to be covering the newest features that we released in December. But we're also going to talk about some of the new features that we're hoping to release in January and February over the next 2 months. We had some really big releases this past month, so I'm really excited to talk about them. Again, if you guys have questions, drop it in the Q&A. If you have feedback, drop it in the chat. We'd love to see it. Okay, so let's kick it off. Share my screen. Let me get my. All right. Share my screen real quick. Perfect. All right, so the first big new feature we're gonna talk about was probably the biggest one we released in December. This is one we've been working on for a long time, and has been a lot of our users have been really excited about. So we just released in December the ability to share folders with clients. So in the past, we had client requests where you could request documents or send documents to clients through a secure passwordless client portal. Now you have the ability to actually share folders to that portal. So you can request documents or send documents that aren't related to a project. So this is great for archiving old bookkeeping reports or tax return documents, or just having your client for your client to see, but also just having a place for your client just to upload random documents that aren't related to requests. So I'm going to show you how this works. But one thing I want to say is, why did we release this, right? I want to talk about the vision behind our client portal. So as if you don't use our client request feature, we have a passwordless, easy to use client portal that makes it very easy for you to get client responses faster. So you can get documents, answers to questions. But our goal, and that has been a very popular feature of Financial Sense. But our goal with our client portal is to create a single portal, one place for your clients to go to get everything that they need. They can see the documents you need and send them to you securely. They can view old reports or important documents that you store with them. So basically replacing ShareFile, OneDrive, or other client portal document management systems. The ability to communicate with you and ask questions. They can pay invoices or see their billing information or other important portal features. So we want to create that one portal so your client's not confused having to use all these different portals, but also an easy to use portal so it's not outdated. They don't have to remember their password or their username. And that is our goal. This is like the first step in that direction, right? It gives that second functionality outside of the request. So we're really excited about this. We've got a lot of really great feedback on it so far. And this is just the first iteration. There's definitely a lot of improvements coming. So that being said, now we've talked about the vision. Let me show you how it actually works. So inside Financial Sense, right, when you go to a client's profile, if you look on the files tab here inside the profile, you've always had this document management section. Here you can create folders, you can store documents that are related to the client. So you can store, for example, old bookkeeping documents, right? Tax returns, entity documents, all types of client information. So it's all centralized in one place for your team to access. Now, with this new update, you can share these folders with your client to or client portal. So you will see over here an icon. This icon indicates whether the folder is being shared. So you can see these are actually already being shared or not being shared. When you share a folder with a client, it will share all the subfolders and documents inside those subfolders with that client as well. And so as you can see in this example, I have my bookkeeping documents. So these are maybe old, profit loss reports, bank statements that maybe you want to share with your client in a secure manner, and always have it archived in a portal for them to access down the road. So they can click to share. So this is how you would share. So you can click the sharing with client icon. I'm already sharing in this example, but you can see you can choose which specific contact you want to share it with on that client. So, and you can have different levels of permissions. So as you can see here, I've shared with this folder with Jonathan that's related to this client, and he has the ability to view and upload documents. But maybe Bob only has view only, George has view only, and I'm not sharing with Mary. That is contact on the client. So you can choose who you want to share it with. And then when you click done and share, it will send the client an email letting them know you have shared that folder with them or document, and they can view that and click into the portal. So that being said, we've shown the user end, so how it works for the firm and how you can share a folder with a client. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Dimitro, so you were asking about how you can best set up financials. I would reach out to our support team. We have some trainings and onboarding services that you may be able to benefit from for tax. See how you can set up for tax practice. Also, if you're not in our Facebook community, join our Facebook community. We have over 1,000 users in there, and you can ask them questions about how they set up financial sense for their firm. Janet, yes, the folder sharing is available for all plans. Is there a way to share the folder you create to mass authorize clients? So, Leonard, there isn't a way to mass authorize folders across all your clients yet, but there is a feature I'm going to talk about where, so I guess I'll go ahead and talk about this. So we understood that a lot of you guys already have your clients in our system. You may have hundreds of clients, and you may not want to go and create a folder for every client and share that folder for every client. That could take a lot of time and admin time. So by default, and you can see I have two of them here. I'm going to delete one of these because it looks like someone just accidentally created two. So by default, when we release this feature, we created a folder under every client in your system automatically called client uploads and automatically shared it with your clients. So all your clients already have a shared folder on the portal, and I'll show you that. So you don't have to go and set this up if you want to start using it. It's already set up and ready to go for your clients if you want them to start using it. Is there a way for clients to send us messages? I did say to put the questions in Q&A, but I'll answer them both in Q&A and chat because they're coming in from all angles. Um, um, Matt, there isn't a way to send messages yet that isn't tied to a task or project. So the messages still have to come through the client request feature, but it is something we're looking into add a messaging component that is outside of the client requests. And that's part of the unified piece. Cheryl, you asked, you have Smart Vault. How do we add it as an option in our firm file? Files, we don't have the ability to add the Smart Vault documents under firm files yet. Right now, you have to still access it through the integrations box. Okay, so let's look at the other Q&A. Can clients download? Didn't see that. Yes, clients will have the ability to view and download, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so we talked about how you can now share folders with clients. We've talked about how now every client automatically has a folder called client uploads, and it's already shared. So you don't have to go in and create a folder for 700 clients and share it for 700 clients. They can already start utilizing this feature. And you have a place to send them where they can send you documents. So now let's go and look at the client experience. So when you click this, right, and you share it with a contact on the client, they're going to get an email that looks like this. It's going to say, hello, their name, me from the firm has shared this folder with you called bookkeeping documents. So it shared this folder and all the folders and documents within it. And they can click this notification to view. It's then going to take them into their passwordless portal that we've talked about. If you've used client requests, you know how it works. And it takes them directly to the folders that were shared with them. So they can now see all those folders that you shared with them. They can click in and view the documents. And this ties into one of our other updates. Now you can view documents before downloading them. And I'll talk more about this later. So your client can click, they can actually view the PDF or the document that was shared with them. They can download it, they can print it. Right? So you can see, like, they have all these options here, so they can view the documents without downloading. And then if you want them, you can download them. Now, so that's how they would access and view the folder. In this example, I gave my client the ability to upload documents. So they can also upload documents to this folder. If you don't give them the ability to upload documents, they won't have that ability to do that. This will be grayed out. What's cool is clients can upload documents here manually through this, or they can drag and drop documents into here and upload it to the folders as well. Okay, let's look at some more questions. Do we have to download an Excel file? You have to download an Excel file to edit it. There isn't live editing yet inside Financials. And so it does have to be downloaded, edited, and re-uploaded. So we do plan to integrate with Microsoft SharePoint, Google Drive, and OneDrive still. Even though we'll have our own portal system, we will have these integrations for you guys to use with your existing systems. They don't only access it through the email. So I'll talk about this in a second. But before I do that, so this was the folder that was shared with them, right? They can now view the folders that were shared. But also, if you shared other folders, they'll be able to view all those other folders. So if you have old tax returns, they can view those tax returns here, right? Entity documents, they can view them. Bookkeeping documents. So all the folders that are shared with them, they can view inside this portal. Now, what I mentioned earlier was there is a place where clients can like we've already created a client uploads folder and a place where clients can upload documents. So you don't have to go and share all these individual documents with them. So by default, all your clients already have this client uploads folder and then the ability to upload documents here on the documents section in the portal. So someone asked, is the notification the only way they can access the portal? No, it is not. So we actually, this documents portal is part of our request portal as well. So if they get a request notification when they're managing their client requests, they can actually go and view the documents that they want to see when needed. Or if they don't have a notification at all, they can access it on demand. So if they have our portal bookmarked, they can always access it, right? Or if it's not bookmarked and you have the access your secure, like they have the link to the portal, they can always access the portal on demand from the access page. So, you know, they type in their email address. We send them the secure link. Pause. Then they'll get the secure link email from that access page and they can access the portal. So they can access it from requests, they can access it on demand, they can access it from notifications. They have many different ways they can access this. It doesn't have to come from a specific notification. So it's, again, a great place to archive all important entity documents, reports. You can ask them to upload documents there that maybe aren't related to a project or a request item. Okay, so now let's look at some of the questions. Yes, we do plan to integrate with OneDrive. So I believe our Google Drive and our OneDrive integration should be coming out in like these next 2 months. So that is one of the new features we plan to release. We want to be able to connect with all your systems, whether you want to use our document management system or not. We want to still give you the ability to integrate with your other systems if you prefer to keep those. So the passwordless portal is actually more secure than a typical username and password. So someone asks about the security. Given like username and passwords can be accessed through brute force attacks, our passwordless portal uses the magic link technology, which is more secure than actual password and username. We have an article that talks through the security and how it works. So if you go to our website, scroll down, you'll see security at the bottom. You can learn more about how that works. But it is encrypted and secured. Okay, let's have a question. Yes, Dana. So when you share a file or folder with a client, they will automatically get an email notifying them that you have shared this folder or file with them, and they can click that notification to quickly view it. So you don't have to let them know you've shared something with them, they will automatically be notified. Yes, I'm recording all of this so you guys can rewatch this or and we'll put it on the YouTube channel. Okay. So let me check. So I just want to reiterate, like this is just the first step with our portal. As you can see here, we have requests where you can automate client data collection, get client responses faster. We have documents now where you can have clients upload random documents. You can share you can archive important documents for them to view when they need. So you could essentially replace like a share file, a OneDrive, a SharePoint. And we're going to be adding a lot of functionality to that to make it even stronger. We're also going to add other features here, like the ability to communicate with clients, billing. So they have one portal that they need to access everything. So they're not getting confused, wondering where do they need to go to manage this, or to ask you this, or to view this, or to send you this. It's one place that they always know that they can easily access. So I want to touch, now that we've talked about this feature, if you have any other questions, please drop it in now, because I'm about to move on to one of our other updates. So can you say this answer live? So the request feature is completely different from the client uploads folder. Requests are when you're requesting documents for work or information. So like monthly bookkeeping, you've got to request certain information every month. We'll automatically send a notification requesting that information from the client, and they can easily upload it here on the work. So your team has access to it and can see it when they're doing the monthly bookkeeping work, and they can ask questions about it. This is completely different from requests. This client uploads folder is a folder that clients can upload random information. If it's not related to a project, a client can come here and upload information to you that is not related to a project. And then you would be notified when that client uploads that document, and it would be stored in this client uploads folder for you and your team to have access to. So they're two completely different things. I hope that makes sense and clarifies that. So we do have a way where you can actually create a folder structure template and copy it to your other clients. So if you, in this example, bookkeeping documents, I've created this whole folder structure here. Maybe I want to apply this to all my other clients. If you click these three icons and you see duplicate folder structure, you can then select the clients you want to copy that folder and that folder structure to. It won't copy any of the documents over, just the folder structure to all those other clients. So that is how you can mass apply a folder structure to all your clients to make the setup process easier. We will be coming out with some automation features where when you add new clients to our system, you can automatically apply a folder structure at that time, which will make that easier. And that's part of what some of the new automations coming up in the near future. Answered. Chat. Yes, you can also store documents in these folders and not share them with clients. If you don't click the shared icon, you can see this folder is not being shared with the clients. But one of the folders inside of it is. So you can have sensitive private documents stored here for the clients not to see. And you can also share individual documents, right? It doesn't have to be a folder. You can just share one of these individual documents instead of the whole folder as well. After you copy a folder structure over, you will have to still go into those clients and share it. That is correct, Chris. But again, so we just released this feature. So if you guys have any feedback on how to make it better, more seamless and easy to set up, we're adding functionality. And we understand that you may want to if you copy a folder structure to 600 clients, you may also want to share that folder structure with all the 600 clients. So that is some functionality we can add. Um, okay. So let's talk about one of the other big updates. This is something that's simple, but a lot of our users have been asking about for a while. And this also ties in the document management. So now inside of Financial Sense, your team can view documents without having to download it. So before, until this recent update last month, your team to view like this document right here, they would have to click it, download it to their computer and open it. Now you can click the document and view it without downloading it. And it supports all file types, PDF, Word, Excel, PNG, etc. So now your team can view documents without actually having to download them to the computer. This is right now on the file section. It's also inside of projects. So if I want to view this document, see, I can view it here. And we're going to make an update tonight to where right now you still have to download here on the client tasks. But we're going to be pushing an update tonight to where you can view it when you click these and on the task attachments as well. So this is just it's something a lot of firms have wanted because they don't want their team to download all these documents. And what the really great thing about this is we didn't just add it here. I want to reiterate, we also added it here in the client portal. So your clients don't have to download documents to view them either. They can view them within the portal. So it's a big feature we're really excited about. It just makes everything a little bit more easy to use and a more frictionless process for our users. Stephen, would love to chat about the podcast. I'm going to save your email real quick. Okay. Sharon, if you're interested in learning more about how to share a request send a request to a client, I would reach out to our team or go to our help center. We have a lot of really good documentation on that. I won't be covering that in today's webinar because it is an older feature, but definitely check it out. It's called Client Tasks. If you search our help center online, you'll see a lot of documentation of how it works. Okay, so on to the next feature. We talked about how you can view documents. One thing I really want to show too that came out is the ability to easily move documents too. So now that we have more of a folder sharing and DMS system, maybe you want to move one of these documents to another folder. We created a way to move it through a folder tree. So if you click move, or hold on, am I doing something wrong? Okay, it looks like it may not be working right now. So I'll come back to this, but basically what I'll do is I'll actually show you access loop 10. So it looks like this. So when you select move, you'll be able to see all the folder structures across that client. It can open the other folder structures to instantly take that folder to another folder. Like that could be 3 or 4 folders away instead of having to drag it, move it, drag it, move it, drag it, move it. We're also going to be looking at a way to do this at a mass scale, so you can select multiple folders and then select which folder you want to move it to across the folder tree or folder structure. And then lastly, another update we created is weekly accounting periods. So we used to only have monthly, quarterly, and yearly accounting periods. Now you can have weekly accounting periods for your work. So for example, weekly bookkeeping. Now it'll have a weekly tag for accounting periods. So when you're viewing your work, you can see what week that, and when it recurs, it's going to dynamically update. We're also working on adding biweekly and semi-annually or other payroll periods for the accounting periods as well. If you haven't used accounting periods, it's a great feature that makes it easier for your team to understand what period of time the work is for. So if you ever change the due dates or you have backlog, it's easier for your team to differentiate and understand what period they're working on. Okay, some Q&A. Yes, you can do the simple folder drag and drop, but unfortunately, the move feature's not working right now, but we'll get that fixed. Okay, so those were some of the biggest updates we released in December. The biggest ones, I think, is the folder sharing and file sharing, as well as the ability to view documents without having to download them. Now, we really want to go deeper on this, right? So we want to make that feature better. So if you have feedback on how to make it better, let us know. And we already got a few ideas, I think, from these conversations where if you copy a folder structure over and the ability to share it as well, that's something we can do. But there's some other big updates we want to do with it, right? So one thing is over here inside Financial Sense on our left navigation, you have, and I would be actually curious to see if you guys think this would be good. You have workflow, right? Where you manage your work. Email, where you can manage your email with your clients. Clients, where you can view your client database, right? So you can view all their clients, their information. But here's the thing. You have to click to get to the folders. You have to click here. It's like 3 or 4 clicks away. So we're thinking about adding another tab over here called Workflow, Email, Clients, and Documents. And then when you click that Documents tab, it's going to have all your client folders. So it'll have like a folder for Adeline Collins, Airbnb, Alex, Alan, Amazon, all your clients listed as folders. When you click in, it will take you right to that folders for that client. So it's just easier to access, easier to find. And it just create actually like a full document management system. And not only that, would you have a folder for each client, but you could actually also have a folder for your internal firm documents. So non-client related documents. So you can store all your internal firm documents there. So you have all your client documents, your internal firm documents, your work, your client information all in one place, creating that single source of truth for your firm. Is that something you think would be valuable? Do you think it makes sense to create that documents tab? Not just to make it more easy to find, but also to have a place for your internal firm documents to live as well. Looks like it's a good idea from the feedback we're seeing. That's good to see. We're really excited about that. That's going to be really powerful. And with that, like we want to add a lot of automation. So like, let's say you create a client in our system. It adds that folder to that section and creates that folder structure automatically. So you can replace a lot of these other systems that you're using. And, not just because you may want to save money, but just again, the biggest thing we see as firms grow is they need to be more centralized. They have all their information in all these other apps, and it's creating a lot of disorganization and silos, and people can't access the information they need or find the information they need. We want to create that centralized single source of truth for your firm. So I'm really excited about that piece. That should be coming soon. That's going to be one of the things we release probably this month. Okay. Oh, this one's a big one. And this is going to play really well into the document management piece. This, I think, we should be coming out in the next 2 weeks, is a global search. So the ability to search across Financial Sense for everything. Think about it. You have a search bar where you can search for client notes, documents, clients, projects, team communication, right? Um, so a lot of the time people are like trying to go find that comment a team member made. Was it on this project? Let me go look. No, it wasn't here. Okay, let's go back. Was it here in this conversation? No, it wasn't there. So let me show you this design. Its design has changed, but it gives you an idea of how this is going to work. So inside Financial Sense, there's going to be a search bar up here. This is going to be, from any page, you'll be able to see the search bar. You can click into it, and then you can start typing. So maybe you want to find a document. You type in a document name, or whatever you type in, it's going to search. You can search client notes, search for clients. You can search for documents. You can search for uploaded documents from clients. So from the request feature, project name, and also team communication. So you can see like, so you could search like, there's a team member that mentioned something about checking something. You can type in check these documents, and it'll find that team communication. Or if you search bank statement, it'll show all the banks, like the bank statement documents, project type, client. So you can literally search for anything across Financial Sense, because not only like, if we're going to centralize all of your notes, your team communication, your documents, your work, your client information in one place, we also need to make it easy to find. So this makes it to where your team can find and access that information in one click. This is just kind of like the first design. It's actually changed a little bit. I'm really excited to show what it's actually going to look like, but I wanted to just demonstrate that so you guys can actually see what that would look like. Um, People like the global search. Okay, audit trail. That is something we do plan to add. It is something people are definitely asking for, and we understand you guys need it, and it is on our roadmap for this year. Leonard, I don't know if it searches custom fields. I'll have to double check that. I know it searches your clients and your contacts, phone numbers and emails, but I don't know if it's going to actually search custom fields yet. Okay, so global search, that's going to be huge. That will be released this month. So really excited for that. Stay tuned for that. Oh, this is another one. So if you do use our email functionality, we are soon going to have a drafts email tab over here. So if you start typing, like if you start typing an email and you don't finish it and you click out of it, you can view your email drafts over here. So just a little new functionality of the email integration. I don't know if it will have the ability to search emails. I'll have to talk about that. So when we release our global search and when we talk about it next month, I'm really excited to see what you guys think of it, how we can make it better. We definitely want to make it to where you can easily search everything across our system. So we're going to be adding to it. This is just like the first iteration of it. But definitely saved a lot of the feedback for the global search when we release it. So this one's exciting. And this is something you don't see a lot, which is why I'm excited about it, because it's going to open up the door for a lot of automation. And also just streamline your work creation and prevent like human mistakes. So this is something we're going to call like template settings. So right now, when you create a project from a template, so let's like create a 1040 tax return for this example. Let's just say it's for one client, because I guess it comes in. You have to go in like and fill in a lot of these details. What is the due date? So let's just say that could be April 15th, right? When is the start date? Maybe it's, 2 days after it was created, right? So we January 5th. Does it recur? Tax returns don't recur typically, but if it's monthly bookkeeping, you have to put in like repeat every month and all this. Every time someone creates work, they have to fill in this information. And also it opens up the error for like mistakes to be made. So one thing we're going to be doing is adding the ability for default template settings. So on your templates, you can add in these settings. So when your team creates it, it autofills all this information. It will autofill a due date and a start date. It'll autofill the recurrence period, um, and, uh, and other information. So your team just clicks it and it's one click create. They don't have to fill in the information. And this also opens up the doors for other types of due date functionality. So maybe if it's a tax return, you want it to have a due date of 7 days after it came in. You can say, give it a due date of 7 days after the work was created on the settings, or always give it a due date of the 25th of the month, or there's all these other options. And not only is this going to like make it easier for your team to create work, but it's going to prevent mistakes. It's going to prevent your team members from setting up the work incorrectly. But the biggest thing is it opens up the door for automation. So now if you have your template settings in, you can automate work creation. So for example, you use our Zapier integration to where when someone signs a proposal in Ignition or Anchor or Go proposal, trigger a monthly bookkeeping project to be created for this client or a tax return to be created for this client. It will automatically create that tax return in our system with the correct due date, with the correct start date assigned to the correct team member, with the correct recurrence. So they sign a proposal, it automatically creates all the work in our system. You could create a QuickBooks cleanup project with the due date and a monthly bookkeeping. So it'll automate work creation, not just from integrations, but internally. So maybe this is something a lot of people have been asking for. When a task is completed, it's a dependent task, but when a task is completed, create a project, right? So now when, let's say maybe this isn't a good example, but complete this task, it will create a new project for this client. You can have that dependency now, because we'll have the template settings. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about with this feature? And do you guys think it would be valuable? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Okay, people get it. That's good. Um, I'm really excited about that functionality because it's definitely going to allow you to automate a lot of admin work. Whether it's just quickly creating work or automating like when proposals are signed or when a task is completed or when this project is completed, create this project. There's just so much functionality and automation that opens the doors to. Um, communication. Shannon, we do potentially plan to add ability to communicate with clients outside of email. So like in our portal, like let's say like a messaging tab. So where you saw requests, documents, maybe there's messages to where you guys can communicate with clients. It's something, it's on a roadmap. We're still working through it and discussing it. But could be something this year. Um, Stephanie, there isn't a way to show the next task due date, I believe, on your dashboard yet. No, it is something we're working on. We just have to figure out how to optimize the system to let us do that, instead of having the final project due date. Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay, this last little update that should be coming out soon. This is something small, but this is something I think a lot of you that's going to resonate with a lot of you if you use our time tracking. So soon, this month, we should be releasing the ability to edit a time entry, but edit the client or project on the time entry. So a lot of the times, if a client, if like a team member tracks the time to a wrong client or the wrong project, you can't go in and change the client or project the time entry is ready to. You actually have to delete the time entry and recreate it. And it's a pain because it happens a lot. It's something small that is a friction point for a lot of our users. So we're going to be releasing an update to where now when you edit time entries, you can change the client or project so you don't have to delete it and recreate it. So that's going to be Amazing. It sounds small, but it's a big thing if you track time in our system. Um, uh, okay. Um, and then one more thing too is we're working on is the ability to filter by accounting period. So a lot of people they want to be able to filter by accounting period. That is something we're working on adding, and should be released in the next within the next month or two. So if you want to not just filter by due date, right? Like I can filter by work due this month. I could say instead filter this work to show me all the work that has an accounting period for July, or all the weekly accounting periods and for this week, which is going to be exciting. Okay. So that is all the updates. Are there any other questions about some of the features we released from the stuff that's coming up, or the file sharing? What else we talked about? The ability to view documents, moving folders, which we will get fixed. It's just like it's not working right now. And the weekly accounting periods. Do you guys have anything else for me before we end this webinar? Okay. Doesn't look like there are any other questions. Um, So if you guys this is your first month, just letting you know we do this every month. We do it on the first Wednesday of every month. We talk about the newest features we had released in the past month. It's a great place to see some of the new features that are coming out. It's a great place to get feedback. It's a great place just to see how features work and ask your questions. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to our team. You can reach out to our chat support inside the app. They can talk to you about the new features. They can share articles that show you how the new features work. Or if you really need training or onboarding for your team because you feel like you're not fully utilizing the platform to its full capabilities, which most firms are not, right? Because we're releasing so many new updates. Feel free to reach out to our team for a training session. They can walk you and your team through it so you can see how you can better utilize Financial Sense and maybe replace some of the other apps that you're using. But oh, it looks like there's a few more questions. I'll run through these real quick. So Briab, if you're not a Financial Sense user, or if you're just wondering how to get started with some of these new features, go to our chat support, reach out to our team and ask, or go to our help center. So if you click this too, like you can search our help center, like for a file sharing. That's what we talked about today. Or like if you go to the client, so like file sharing. You'll be able to see some of the documentation, or go to like client portal. You can see how to use the functionality. We will be integrating with ShareDrive, or sorry, we plan to integrate with Google Drive, OneDrive, SharePoint this quarter, I believe. SharePoint may take longer. We also plan to integrate with some of the other DMS systems like ShareFile. I don't know when that is on our roadmap, but it is something we do plan to do. Okay. Lee, if you're having issues with time tracking and syncing, reach out to our team. They can diagnose it for you and see why it's not syncing. Okay. That's everything. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'll see you guys next month. Take care.